This incarnation of God becoming man changed all of the physical creation and sanctified it and blessed it and elevated it in a Alrighty, so now we're going to be talking about our philosophy of care for Enora. So, one of our main beliefs is that the human body is sacred. There's a lot of misunderstandings in society and confusion about the human body these days. We believe the human body is good. It's not a prison that we need to escape. It's not something bad that we're only going to have temporarily. Um, Without our body, we actually aren't fully ourselves. Think about it. If we didn't have a body, we couldn't smell. If we didn't have a body, we couldn't hear. We couldn't have these senses, these wonderful experiences, and this extreme hunger for this kind of infinite desire in our hearts and in our beings expressed through our bodies. So there's this wonderful quote that the body and only the body is able to make visible what is invisible. Another part of our philosophy is that death is a natural part of life. Um, from the Bible in the New Testament, Paul says, "O death, where is your victory? O grave, where is your sting?" In other words, death doesn't have to be a bad thing anymore. It's transformed. It's not um, a dungeon. It's not nothingness. And in fact, it's a new beginning into eternity, into ecstasy, eternal ecstasy. And the reason that that's possible is because when God the Son, who was only spirit, invisible, uncreated, became a man, what he wasn't at the beginning through the Blessed Virgin Mary, this this incarnation of God becoming man changed all of the physical creation and sanctified it and blessed it and elevated it in a way that it's divine, that you are divine, that we have this image that is just so powerful. And because he conquered death when he died on the cross, humans are freed now to experience the fullness of life because it has no end. And that's that last part, which is we believe in the life of the world to come. This quote is powerful enough, I'm going to read it. Heaven is not an unending succession of days in the calendar, but something more like the supreme moment of satisfaction, in which totality embraces us and we embrace totality. It would be like plunging into the ocean of infinite love, a moment in which time, the before and after, no longer exist. Such a moment is life in the full sense, a plunging ever anew into the vastness of being, in which we are simply overwhelmed with joy. And that's from Pope Benedict XVI. People have a strange idea about heaven, and I won't get into it here. But this view of heaven as the fullness of our humanity, fully lived, fully expressed in its full capacity, that is what we believe heaven is. It's not the loss of our senses, it's not freedom from our senses and from our human experience, it's the fullness of it. So now, why does that matter here at Enora as we care for those in death? Well, number one, we have respect for human life. Every human life from the moment of conception until natural death is sacred because the human person has been willed for its own sake in the image and likeness of the living and holy God. That's from the Catechism of the Catholic Church. So we definitely maintain that in our home. We have a reverence for the body, as I mentioned, the very way that we handle and touch and speak and are present with the people who are here, not just our dying guests, but one another, is in this sense that everyone is holy, that we are close to God when we're close to each other. Honoring the presence of the person, we think that just being present is sometimes the greatest, I guess, intervention or treatment that we can give. We don't have to necessarily be doing something, just a loving presence. And our greatest example of that is really Mary at the cross. We have a respect for the dying process. There's a rhythm, there's a flow to it. Our caregivers hold space while being attentive to our guests and their loved ones' fears, concerns, just this openness. And we provide information and can guide them in any way that we're comfortable to do. We pay attention to the physical. I mentioned having space where people can have favorite pictures, memorabilia, things that were important to them in their life, and an appreciation for the senses, where we want to provide them excellent food, a favorite food or drink, having this space for art and music, aromatherapy, massage, and touch. And then a belief in the resurrection of the body, that there really is hope at the end of life. It's not death and then nothing, it's death and then much more. And we gratefully welcome volunteers and staff of goodwill from diverse belief systems, practices, and traditions.